Hello, beautiful people. I'm stoked to be here today with my brother Franz, and we will explore the topic that comes from our heart, the healing power of sound. We believe sound is the future medicine. It's emerging, it's evolving. We're both involved as musicians, as sound healers, as vocal frequency channels and coaches into the subject. And today we're going to explore what it has done to our lives and how it can shift your life just in a few minutes sometimes. It's really amazing. Franz, thank you so much for being here. I'm really blessed to have your company, and tell us something about you.
Thank you so much, Arun. I'm so happy to be here with you today and explore this topic, which is very close to my heart as well. And I yeah, it's very interesting. I come from a musical background, and I played all kinds of music, from heavy metal to electronic pop, and I really explored this musical realm from many different perspectives. And at some point, I realized that there is something deeper beyond that, like power of sound and of music, and that it has a healing power. Like even when I think back when I was a teenager and I had my first heartbreak, what I did to heal myself is I just listened to some music or even like a song on repeat.
Absolutely.
And that was really what was helping me to get over that heartbreak, which at the time I didn't have any other strategy to get over that. Yeah,
That's
now.
so beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And then and so now it's really like I'm part of what matters the most, which is a singer-songwriter collective, and our focus is to bring healing music and sounds to people to help them realize themselves and a deeper truth within themselves. And we use mantras, positive affirmations, and even like tribal invocations that come to us through some sort of channel. And it's just beautiful to see what it can bring, what the music can bring to ourselves, and the sound can bring to ourselves, and how it can heal ourselves just as well
Yeah.
as others. So I mean, I've
You
had
know,
the.
that's so beautiful to
Yeah.
hear. Yeah, that's so beautiful to hear because it just links into my story and where I come from. And I have exactly the same background. You know, I just always remember myself with an acoustic guitar and also electric guitar. You know, just roaming through the streets of our hometown, really, having a good time with friends, and always making music, always playing. And we think in these categories, and we think, this is singer-songwriter music, this is maybe heavy metal or grunge or independent. And then there is sound healing that you attend, with singing bowls and chimes and gongs and all kinds of instruments, which is kind of a different category, right? But I was at the market here a few days ago, last week, and I intended to do the healing sounds that I do. So I channel vocal frequencies, and that's what I showed up to do that. But then there was a guitar around, and things were just a little bit different. And I just grabbed a guitar and played Neil Young and played Bob Marley, Redemption Song, and it just reminded me of the power that these collective songs just have in our own biography, the collective biography, the history of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, where they come from. And there's so much healing energy in these songs and so much soothing. In the end, it's all frequency. Frequency, sound, they don't care about categories or genres, or they don't make the distinctions. They just are. And that's a beautiful thing about sound. You cannot interpret sound. You feel it right away. You cannot, you can close your eyes if you don't want to see something like a horror scene in a movie or something. but you cannot close your ears. And that's also metaphorical because the sounds and the frequencies, they just enter your system pretty much without a filter. And that's very powerful. And it has an immediate effect. So when you start humming, when you start making sounds, they have an immediate effect on your psyche, on your thoughts, on your emotions, and connect you to your spiritual source as well. So for me, it's the most powerful tool we have for healing. And this is our topic today, the healing power of sound. So yeah, let me know how you think about frequencies, sounds, and how you use them in your work.
Thank you so much. I totally resonate with what you just said, and it's so beautiful to see like how sound, enters our system, and that's what you just explained so beautifully. And we don't need the mind for it. So this is probably the big difference from when we read a book or when we watch TV or we do any other activity that first needs to be processed by our mind so we understand it. But sound and with sound I mean also like music, but even with music you have a wide range of different sounds. It
Yeah,
just
and we will explore them a little bit later, the
yeah,
different musical genres and yeah, how they relate to each other.
and it enters our system quite naturally, and there's no need to analyze or interpret it. We feel it immediately, and it's a frequency that we feel, and it's so beautiful. Like my teacher, he's very fascinated about Pythagoras and his teachings. So I've been acquainted with that. I've been studying that for the last years, and it's so interesting because Pythagoras wasn't a mathematician, but he was a philosopher, and he just as you and me, he was fascinated with frequencies and with sound, and he said like we are all cosmic frequency, and he used numbers to explain our different vibrational frequency, but he was very convinced that every disease, every sickness could be healed through frequency and through sound. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
and isn't
it's not
that
us inventing this. It's been out there for more than 2,500 years already.
yes, and isn't it amazing that, now it's really reaching a much broader audience. There's so many sound healings. They are just a few years back, it used to be a bit of an exotic thing, like maybe yoga used to be 30 years ago. But now everywhere I go, everywhere you go, there's sound healings and people are open to it, people are interested in it, and they really realize the benefit that it has on their system. And it's a really beautiful development. And I think it really shows that humanity is on the threshold to a new paradigm. Because eventually, like so much of the conflicts we have, so much of the troubles we have in our personal life and in the bigger scale, in the politics in the world, so much of it is just based on these different categories we have in our mind. Things don't go together. You believe this, I believe that. I think it should be this way. You think it should be that way, and immediately we are fighting. But sound, as you said so beautifully as well, it just it's beyond these categories. So it just unites. It's just beyond these these good and bad, these yeah, good and bad, day and night, these oppositions, really, right? So it's beyond that, and immediately it has a unifying effect. And really, I mean, when you think about it, if you can join in song or in music or in frequency, people from different cultures, and you don't have to talk anymore. The language is not so important anymore. The ordinary language is not so important. What I'm doing is I'm also doing light language. So I'm channeling sounds from different dimension. I will show a little bit later what that sounds like and explain maybe a little bit how that works. But you know, that's a language, but it's not a language in the in our everyday sense that words have meanings and they are beyond meanings, right? It's not, there's no right or wrong. If I do sounds that, you know, that for you and for me are not, they don't have this division energy, they have the unity energy. So they just bring truth, a higher truth in, beyond the mind sphere and beyond right or wrong, really.
Absolutely. And as you just said it, it's like sound at its core is just connecting. Is showing us that we are all, you know, people now say we're vibing. You know, are you vibing? Yeah. And this is basically, it means, are you on a similar frequency? Can you tune into the same frequency? And it's not that, you know, yeah, we're vibing, we're not vibing. It's simply that we tune into that frequency that connects us. So so people, you know, if you even, you know, of course it's beautiful to see all the sound healers and everything coming up now with sound bowls, with different instruments, with voices, and yeah, and of course also with channeling light language, or yeah, things like that. So very curious to hear later from you the live demo. Um, but what I want to say is that even if I just go to a music festival, yeah, or to a concert, it's the same thing. People are tuning into that frequency, and then they're united. It doesn't matter if they're black, white, young, old, male, female. All of these
Christian, Muslim, or
exactly.
yeah.
All of the categories can fall away, and we can feel the unity. This is what people attracts to go to these events and to connect on that level.
Yeah, it's an amazing shift, and even beyond, you know, really doing sound, it's just you really realize that you're living in alignment with your own vibe, vibration, frequency. If you just, you know, you go to places and you're drawn to like-minded people, or you're drawn to the right circumstances. You know, I'm traveling a lot, so when I go to new places, it's really incredible. It's like living the dream, living the miracle, because I go somewhere and within a few days, often I'm part of a community with aligned souls, right? That are kind of on the same level as me, that are kind of, you know, moving towards this unity consciousness, towards community, and basically towards a new world and a new earth. And you attract those people. You know, I don't need to run around the street and make sounds or play guitar, but it's also a very subtle thing. So you are a frequency, you emanate a frequency and a sound. The interesting thing about sound, you know, from the yogic background, I come from a yogic background, and so do you, Franz. I'm sure you're into meditation and a lot. So we know about the chakras, and obviously sound is mostly centered in the throat chakra, the Vishuddha chakra. And it's just so incredible because it links the higher realms. What is sound? You know, you cannot hold on to sound. It's there and then it's gone. So it's there and then it's gone. It's like a thought, or like maybe a spiritual dimension. But at the same time, it's very physical because you can feel it in the body. You can feel the bass. You can feel the music. When I talk, I can feel, yeah, I can feel my body moving, my cells, my blood. Everything is stimulated, and it's really part of both worlds, and it unites both worlds. So it brings the spiritual realm and the physical realm, the earth and the sky and Shakti and Shiva. It brings them together into a unity, and and into a harmony. And that's really the secret power of sound.
Yeah, totally. And I want to say that for me, last year I was traveling to India, and there was a huge revelation because my teacher asked me to play mantras, and I've never done that before. And I realized that through playing mantras, I've not only I felt some resonance in my body, because if you do, for example, like Om, you feel that there's a vibration here, and
Yes.
that vibration connects you, and you don't have to be spiritual, or you don't have to believe in something is ethereal. You can just try it out. Everybody can just try it out and see for themselves like how it feels. And what I realized is then that when I was singing those mantras, and just for continuous time, like multiple minutes, many minutes, then it kind of calmed my whole being down, and it got me into a certain very calm, relaxed state of mind. And I was traveling India, and to be honest, in the beginning it was quite a shock, and I was really scared. Oh, am I gonna be fine? Will I be like go through this trip healthy? Um,
India is a tsunami, and when you get you get washed away. And yeah, the more you resist, the more difficult it is. And if you don't, then you will really transform.
yeah, and
Yeah, well
that's
done. Well done.
exactly, and that's exactly what I experienced. That and also the mantras, they really helped me to tune into that. And as you said before, like those mantras are in Sanskrit, and I have no idea about Sanskrit. I mean, now I studied a little bit the mantras and their background, but even before I did not know what they mean, but I could feel it on a deeper level, on a energetic frequency, or even physical body
Yeah.
level, and I could feel it, and it helped me to go through that experience completely fine, healthy, and calm. So yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And it's actually not so mystical too. You know, it's very easy to explain how a mantra works. Actually, mantra is the oldest form of yoga. If you look to the old yoga scriptures, like the Upanishads and stuff, like scriptures that are really 3,000 to 4,000 years old, or even older, they will tell you how do you go into meditation. Your tool is the mantra, and they usually refer to Om, which is the universal mantra, right? So a mantra is a tool for the mind. Some even translate mantra as manas, and manas means the mind, and tra can be translated as tool. So it's a tool for the mind. So it's very simple. How does it work? We all know we have the monkey mind, so it's hard to quiet the mind. At times it's easier, then it's more difficult. But our mind has a tendency to be distracted. And so you give the mind a sound, and you do it loud. That's important, especially in the beginning. It's really good to start loud. That means you utter a sound, like for example, like Om, or like Om, Klim, Shrim, something like that, which would be a bija mantra. And then you do that. And as you said, you have to do it for a couple of minutes. And then the mind in the beginning, it hears, oh, what kind of sound is that? A little bit, okay, I got it. But then it gets distracted again, and maybe it goes shopping, or goes worrying, or goes into the future, into the past. But then you just keep repeating the mantra. So you do mantra japa, that's called. So you repeat the mantra. And the longer you do that, the mind at some stage just gives up its tendency of distraction, and just it's just forced to focus, because the mantra is a focal point for your mind. And then it gets only attuned to that mantra. And that's why it's important also what mantras you use, because a high frequency mantra, obviously the mind gets absorbed in the quality of the sound of that particular mantra. And yeah, and then it just quiets down. It just gets quiet. And the longer you do it, and if you repeat it every day, it really transforms the mind, and your capability of concentration, of being less distracted, just explodes. So you really become a whole different person through that in a way. And yeah, you're much less distracted. And by the way, that's also a definition of intelligence, by the way, um, like how much energy do you need to arrive at a calculation, for example, a mathematical calculation, like three plus two is five or something, right? Yeah, it's five. But something more complicated, or if you try to solve a problem, and if you have to think a lot and a lot and a lot to arrive at the conclusion, it takes a lot of energy. Just, you have to think a lot, it takes a lot of time. But if you're quiet, you kind of immediately, you don't have to think so much anymore. You don't have to have so many intermediate steps, but you're just at the result right away. So it makes you more intelligent too. Yeah, which is maybe just funny, but it's helpful.
Yeah, that's actually really really surprising and funny. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but there we are. I mean, our topic, the healing power of sound. Intelligence is obviously healing too, because yeah, you have a more accurate view of reality, pretty much, which is it's just a different way of saying I'm more healthy because I'm actually more closer to reality. My reality is closer to the reality and less a delusional, what I think, what may be true, or stories I tell myself about myself and the future, which will never happen. And so this is the healing power that sound has.
So basically, what you're saying is it brings you into the present moment, and you're focused, and you're in the moment, and you're present to whatever is, and that, in a sense, is intelligence, because both past and future are just imagined and are some concept or construct floating in our mind. And if we're too much giving too much attention to the monkey mind, like all the thoughts in our head, we get caught in an idea that past and future are true, which they are not. They're just in our subjective mental projection. But instead, this intelligence is really about, like, what is happening here right now. I'm talking with Arun in a conversation, and on a deeper level, it's basically just two frequencies exchanging and yeah, and exploring. So
Yes.
to open up to that deeper reality, that's the possibility, and it's so nice. I just wanted to say it's so nice that you also said, like, of course, I mean, we can do all of these spiritual practices, we can do meditation, breath work, and all of it, but instead we can also just chant mantras or sing songs that connect us to our deeper self. So that's a good news, I would say, for people who are not so inclined to follow all of these spiritual practices, but living a more let's say worldly life, but there's everybody
Yeah,
can
that's a good
connect to
point.
it, everybody can connect to sound and to themselves through that.
That's a good point. Yeah, and honestly, I'm thinking actually sound. People ask me, how did I come up with the sounds that I'm doing now? These channeled vocal frequencies, these healing vibrations, and I do tune into to higher dimensions. So some of them are of galactic origins. So yeah, and also from cultures that might have been lost. Uh, there's not only the modern cultures. Everything is in our systems. It's stored in our systems. So we remember. We still remember where we come from, but not in the sense I come from Germany, or I come from this family and last century this happened and that. This is also worth exploring, but the roots go much deeper. They go into, thousands of years back, and they go into past lives, and they go into yeah, into prehistoric times, really, where different civilizations. That's why people nowadays are so interested in, Lemuria or Atlantis or, whatever you may call it, or in the Palladians or the Arcturians, into, yeah, realities that and civilizations and cultures that come from a different time and which were very, very much more probably in tune with everything than we are now. So, and we are in the process of remembering that and coming back to that. So I like to think of it, it's not so much like it's me, Arun, and I'm doing sounds, but it's actually sound is a natural way of being, really. If I don't do sounds, then something might be wrong, or, you know, and it's a simple thing. Like if you're happy, many people under the shower, they start to sing, right? For example, or they sing and they whistle when they go through the street, they're happy. It's a natural expression when you're in tune and when you're happy, then you just sing. Whatever it is, a song, humming, whistling, it doesn't matter so much a mantra. But it's just an expression of life, really. And if there's a lot of density in the air and a lot of silence, that's more of a constricted way of being and doesn't feel good. And that's really the beginning of suffering and of pain. Constriction, when your heart is not open, but when your constrictions out of fear or out of negative emotions that are stored in your system. Yeah, oftentimes it's fear or traumata, and they are still stored there, and that they make you feel constricted, and you cannot express yourself, and you cannot sing, and yeah, but singing helps to free you from these traumata, from this fear, from these constrictions. So it's super important for healing. It's super important. And the sounds and the vibration really move through your system, and they are able to help you get rid of your traumata and get rid of your maybe difficult experiences from childhood or even from past lives. They really help you to loosen the structures, cellular structures, and then kind of to be able to get them out of your system. So yeah, after sound healing, it's actually really important to drink a lot of water too. Or if you have an ocean nearby or a lake, that's even better. Just jump in and really let everything that has been loosened up, let it be washed away so that you can be more free and closer to who you truly are, who you always meant to be, who you always were, letting go of these traumata, letting go of all these conditionings.
Absolutely. And the interesting thing is that for what you just explained so nicely, there's scientific backup for it, like scientific proof. They just started to get deeper into analyzing, like, what could it mean, past lives or stuck emotions or trauma, and they could already show with like they did experiments with mice, yeah, and the mouse is not the most complicated emotional being, but still, I mean, compared to human, say,
Mm-hmm.
but still they could show that over 14 generations, like emotions and traumas were stuck. Like, for example, where's a trap, or what kind of food to go for, or which kind of scenarios to avoid, that this was stored through 14 generations. And now we're talking about the mouse. So we haven't done the equation yet for humans, but quite possibly for humans, since we're such complex animals, it might be stored way longer. So this is one thing, like you can believe in past lives or not, but there's scientific proof that we have stored emotions and trauma from many generations before. So this is one thing to like put into consideration. And the other thing is that they could show already that our emotions are stored in our body and are stored in our fascia. So when we bring in vibration, when we bring in healing sounds, um, through all kinds of things. It could be sound healing, could be music, like anything that resonates with us. We can help to open up physically this fascia to help these emotions to be released. So, I mean, of course, there's like a spiritual background, and there's the possibility to channel all of this from some unknown source where we don't know where it's from. But there's also very clear scientific data that backs this up and makes it quite real. So yeah, I just
Yeah,
wanted to add
beautiful.
that.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. It's also for me an expression of the new paradigm that we have moved into, or the new earth, whatever you want to call it. That it's not a contradiction anymore. Spirituality and science, they actually complement each other, and they tell each other, yeah, that's actually working. That's actually right. And yeah, very interesting what you said, about emotions being stored in the body, in the system, in the fascia you mentioned. So it's in the muscles. There's like this psoas muscle is also called in yoga the muscle of the soul. So it stores, emotions, experiences. It's down here, and it connects the upper body to the lower body, actually, the only muscle who does that. And yeah, I mean, if you do like a release with this muscle, people often start to cry, or something really deep stuff comes up again. And the fascia, the fascia are much more, they're everywhere. And even for science, it's difficult to say, they can say, yes, there is something stored there, but you never exactly know. This is where I think science is amazing to complement spirituality, but I think it also has its limits. And for example, that it makes no sense to really determine where exactly is which emotion stored, because they are so individual. We are all individuals. You will never be able to, um, you know, to only look at one emotion with 10 different people, because they are always different, and people store it in different parts too, I believe. So, yeah, as much as I love the science and the scientific approach, I have I have started to channel sounds about 5 years ago, and I do believe that this is actually the most advanced technique, because science will never be fast enough, will never be able enough to really tell you, okay, what or machines won't be able to tell you, what does this person need, what does this group need, because time, every second, time, context, people, everything is changing all the time. So yeah, science will always be a little bit behind. And I just believe I tune into a group, for example, or if I do one-on-one personal healing sessions with my sounds or group sessions, I just really open up my channel, and I try to get out of the way with my ego and just really let the sounds come in that want to come into, flow through me into the group, or into the person, to facilitate change and to support their own healing process. I'm not saying I'm going there and these sounds, heal this disease or something, but they're definitely waking up your inner self-healing powers. And in the end, how to heal yourself, but the problem is you have layers and stored in the fascia and stored in the muscles that are just keeping you away from your own healing powers, basically. and from your system something is stuck, right? So you need help. That's why you need help, and that's why it's important that human beings come together in group sessions, in coachings, in sound healings, in singing together. It's so healing. Like, if you sing mantras, for example, a singing circle, kirtan, it's so incredible what can be done. You could never do it alone. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the thing is, of course, you can sing for yourself and and feel your own vibration. However, when you are in a group setting and you're all singing the same thing or chanting or tuning into the same frequency, you realize, and this is not happening on a mind level, but on a much deeper level, you realize that you're all connected. So when I've been to sound healing events, or to even to beautiful concerts, I could feel afterwards it's so easy to just talk to anyone and to connect to people
Yeah.
and immediately go into a deeper, meaningful conversation, um, because we all had this experience of being connected through sound, and I think that's absolutely beautiful.
That's really beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can just feel it. Absolutely. Yeah. And the more we do it, the more we are connected to the community and to ourselves. And the better it gets. The better it gets.
Yeah, and you say,
Nice.
yeah, and you say the better it gets, and I would add to that, um, the deeper we come into contact with ourselves, and as we are able to realize ourselves, and really realize ourselves as frequency and as sound itself, it becomes very clear that Arun and Franz are just vessels. We are just like a vessel that's carrying this energy through life and carrying
True.
this frequency and that vibration through life. And it wants to come out of us quite naturally if we allow it to come.
Yes, it's so beautiful. And as you know, the yoga philosophy says everything starts from sound. And even the Bible says, in the beginning was the word, but you can also translate it as the sound. It's pretty much saying the same thing. And so there is the source or the universe or, the higher dimensions or God or whatever you want to call it. This is actually sound. And we are just a manifestation. Our vessels, our bodies are just manifestations of frequency, of sounds. And in some way, we must have done it ourselves. And the beautiful thing is, we are just possibilities. I'm a possibility. You're a possibility. There are 8 billion possibilities, or 10. I don't know how many people are now on the globe. And that's why we also need everyone, or everyone has its, individual beauty to it. So yes, we can all connect to the source, but it's also through each of us, the sound and the creation manifests in a different way. And that's so beautiful about being on this planet, being a human being in these times, that we realize it's not all about us. It's about the community, right? It's about being together and complementing each other, and valuing each other for the different talents we have, for the different histories we have, for who we are really, and then share the beauty together. It's really amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
it.
No, beautifully said. And what comes to me is really like a bigger question, not to ask, not what do I want from life, but what does life want from me? And this is something that really helps us to guide to who we are and what our expression in this life is. And it's very different from one person to another, and it might be very synchronized, like for example with you and me, that we both have some sort of channel and bring it into the world through our sound and music. But it might also be that a person is just very good in I don't know, managing people, and so being in an office, and then you might ask yourself, okay, so for this person who might live a very different life, and have a 9 to 5 job and work in an office as a manager, why does this person need healing? And so it's really important to understand that for each and every one of us, healing ourselves means coming closer to who we really are and to connect to that purpose that we have in this life, and what we are supposed to bring to the world through our natural gift and our natural talent. So healing is for everyone. It's not like some let's say spiritual entertainment for some people who are into that kind of stuff, but it's really for every single being to be able to calm down the monkey mind, to drop deeper into ourselves, and to realize who we are and what is our purpose in this world.
Yeah, yeah. So you can see how deep it goes, right? Ultimately, you get closer to your purpose and who you really are. That's what you just said. Very, very beautiful and very important. And I just want to add, sometimes we think we go to sound healing, or we have a session, or maybe go to a concert or a festival, and everything's changed. Even though you can have very profound experiences in any of those occasions in the sound healing, for example, you can really have awakening moments, but it is also a process. So it's also something that builds up. I think that's also important, to be realistic about it and just enjoy the journey. It's not like you go to sound healing and after you're a different person, maybe, but that's an exception, I think. Or maybe you are for the next hour, and then next day you are pretty much, you're back to where you maybe used to be before the sound healing. But it adds up. So it's like with doing yoga every day or meditation every day. It's really a practice. So, for example, if people are using my work to connect deeper to themselves, it's also something repetitive. Like I usually link my sounds and the channeled frequencies that I do to certain topics. For example, you want to boost your confidence, or you want to really let go of cut some cords of situations that are not good for you, cast off some weight, some shadow, or you really want to connect to higher dimensions of consciousness and more to unity consciousness. Whatever it is. So you can listen to the same recording, the same sound transmission over and over again until you feel, okay, now I feel I've really integrated that change. And and then you move on to the next recording, whatever. I also have a more structured program when I work with individual people, and which is tailored to their needs. And it always starts with grounding, really. It's important not to forget, the earthly part of our being, the body, everyday life, how are my relationships. That's the absolute basis. Like the root chakra in yoga, that's the absolute basis of any work, really, to be integrated. How can you integrate working and healing work? It's integrated into the body. So you need some kind of a stability. You need some kind of a foundation in yourself. So if you don't have that, I work a lot on that, actually, and then move on to the next levels. Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, so we've had a short break, technical break, and here we are back. And we just decided we have talked a lot about the theory and explanation and where we come from, about sounds, frequencies, and explored some of the amazing healing potentials that sound and frequency has. And now we're actually ready to dive in to some sounds, and so you can really feel what it means to absorb these sounds with all of your being, with your thoughts, with your emotions, with your bodies. And I will start right away. I will invite you now to go into a little a few minutes, just a few minutes, a little meditation. So you're very welcome to close your eyes and just to relax. Whether you're sitting in your chair or you want to lie down, all is welcome. And we just take a moment together to really tune in, breathe in deeply, and exhale deeply. Let everything go, everything, all the thoughts you have in your mind, and repeat. Inhale and exhale. You might want to sigh and let go. And one last time. Inhale and exhale. And now just listen and feel into these vibrations. So just take a few moments to relax and absorb all of the sounds and frequencies. Maybe you want to remain with your eyes closed for another few moments and feel into your body, feel into your breath. Very good. And then slowly, I invite you to come back into the space where you are whenever you listen to this. And I will invite Franz back to his space. And yeah, I'd be curious to hear about your experience, Franz, with these sounds. But take your time, take your time.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you so much for this beautiful channeling. It was really taking me, in the beginning, it was taking me straight up, and I could really feel it strongly in the third eye chakra. So, in some sort, there was some readjusting happening in my mind, where first there were a lot of thoughts, and then it started to fizzle out those thoughts. And to be honest, I don't know how long this was right now.
It was quite short, actually, yeah. But I think
Yeah,
time exists in a different dimension a little bit sometimes in these, yeah,
yeah,
realms of sound.
yeah. So
Oh, it's a beautiful experience. Yeah, you had there. Thank you for sharing.
thank you
Thank you for sharing. Yeah,
for the beautiful channeling. Took
you're
me out
welcome.
completely off my mind, and
Yeah,
yeah, uh,
very nice, very nice. It's just important to land after. So yeah, I hope you find your way back. But you're
mhm.
looking all right. Very good.
Yeah, no,
That's
feeling
nice.
quite blissful.
Yeah, as I said, the way I work is intuitively. And of course, I'm doing this for 5 years now, and it's an evolving process. So, 3 years ago, it sounded very different. You can listen to some of the videos I have here on YouTube or on social media, and it's definitely evolved, the sounds that I'm doing. But it's really every time it's different, depending on the people I'm with and depending who I am, because I constantly change as well. And what's needed, really what's needed and what wants to come through. But of course, there are sounds, that are more for the upper chakras, as you have observed, with the third eye clearing. And then there are obviously lower frequencies that address the lower chakras more and what's happening there and the earth and the realms. Yeah, but then again, it's very individual, and it's really, for me, it's really a blessing and a pleasure to hear, what people take with them when they come to these healing vibrations, to these sound journeys that I'm doing. They have very individual experiences. Some are connected to their ancestors and have an experience there or release, or others have really mythical experiences, or they see colors or they see sacred geometry like pyramids and yeah, or yeah, it can go very deep into a DNA level, really. This was a very short kind of taste of what I'm doing, but when I do my sound healing sessions and the vocal frequency activations, they're usually the sounds I do usually for 30 or 40 minutes, and the whole event maybe 1.5 and 2 hours. So it's a much it goes much deeper the longer you keep going with the sounds. Yeah. Well, so yeah, that's a little snippet from me to share, and I invite everyone to subscribe to the channel here and our channels. What matters the most, and Arun Healing Vibrations, and to listen to some of the other videos, and also reach out if you need for, personal, support. I'm a coach as well, and so are you, Franz. So we also work in individually with people with sounds, but also with yeah, just you know, talking and our coaching tools that we have. So maybe that's something for another video to go into, but yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd be curious to hear some of your sounds. Would you be up to? I see you in your studio. Would you be up to just spontaneously give us a little bit of an insight or a little bit of a snippet as well?
Yeah, let me see what I got here.
That would be amazing. Yeah. So as Franz is getting his gear ready, I can just say he just released an album which is such an amazing album. Franz, I must really tell you, I'm really surprised in a good way, and I find it really amazing. I love it. It's
Oh,
just
thank
come out
you.
a few days ago,
Sunday, yeah.
on Sunday. Amazing. So we are in 2024. Tomorrow is the big portal, the 12/12 portal. So we're recording this video on the 11th of December, 2024. And Franz, what's the album called?
The album is called I Love You.
I Love You. I Love You, right. And it contains a beautiful mix. There are mantras, they're mixed with original lyrics, original songs. It's a very high vibe album. I really love it. Yeah, I really love it. And I
Thank
ask
you so much.
everyone, go to any streaming platform. It's available everywhere, Spotify or you name it. I'm Apple Music, whatever. I think you can get it everywhere. And the band is called What Matters the Most, right?
Yeah, it's actually a singer-songwriter collective. When you listen to the album, you can hear it. There's lots of people involved, and it also contains like tracks that are interludes, and those are channels. So people have channeled something, and we recorded it, and those are gluing the songs together. And we have beautiful. Praises of the Lord, of Krishna. We have like channels about deeper reality. There's things in many different languages also. Yeah, thank you for your feedback, and I'm really happy if people are listening to it and tuning into that frequency.
Yes, amazing. I can just repeat myself. Yeah, go check it out. I love you. What matters the most. And now we're ready to hear some live sounds on my channel here, Aruns Healing Vibrations. Are you ready, Franz?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a little snippet of our last single, and it does contain a mantra. It's called Tara's song, and it contains the Tara mantra, and the Tara mantra is a ancient Buddhist mantra in Sanskrit that helps us to connect to our heart chakra, and it's really meant to connect you to the qualities of empathy, loving kindness, and connection.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful you're doing this. This is, I tell you, it's my favorite mantra. I
Oh,
tell you.
beautiful.
I mean, I have more favorite mantras, but this is one of the ones, definitely. Oh, I love it. Yeah, go for it. I'm looking forward just to absorb it. Thank you so much already, Tara.
Yeah. Let go of all you need, and you are free today. When you give in to love, your heart will lead the way. Oh, home tare, tu tare, tu re, svaha. Om tare, tu tare, tu re, Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture 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 Swaha.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Franz. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love it. It's
Mm.
amazing. Yeah, it has such a calming and heart-opening effect, especially this mantra. Yeah, amazing. All
Mm.
right. I think, we can already feel, that it's all about the sound has such a power, the healing power of sound. That was our credo when we started off. This is what we've been talking about for almost an hour now. And I would really love to hear what you people think. So please leave us a comment, subscribe to the channels, check out the album that Franz has just released. What Matters the Most is the collective, the band, and the album's called I Love You. As well as reach out to us if you have any questions. Please, don't hesitate to write in the comments or reach out directly to us. And it's so beautiful because I can really feel like after this talking and reflecting upon the sounds, upon what we are called to do here in this lifetime, and then actually doing these sounds now, this beautiful mantra, and I channeled some sounds before. It just shows this connection and the shift in the heart center and in the energy field, and just even though we are online, we are just feel so connected. It's very powerful. It's very powerful, very special. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to have this conversation with you, Franz. And yeah, we are we are moving parallel in our lives, and sometimes our paths cross, and that's always special moments, like we did this summer, sound healing in Germany, and let's see what happens next. And I'm definitely up for more crisscrossing of our life path. So looking
Yeah,
forward to that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just want to echo that and say thank you so much, Arun, for this beautiful conversation, for the beautiful sharing of sound. And I really feel right now in this moment, I really feel that connection. I feel the frequency that we are tuned in. And I'm very much open for more exploring together with you, more crisscrossing. So thank you so much for this conversation. And yeah, I love you.
Thank you so much, Franz. I love you too, brother. That's amazing. And thank you everyone for tuning in, for listening to to us and to our sounds. And please stay connected and feel free to reach out. And we send you blessings on your journeys and much blessings, much love, a lot of abundance, fulfillment, and healing for everyone who's connected in this community, in the wider community and humanity. And big hug, brother Franz. And let's see. Let's talk soon. Let's have another go. And for now, enjoy the silence, which is always maybe the most perfect sound.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. Namaste.